find the causes of insecurity, especially the Boko Haram conundrum in Nigeria. Please, ladies and gentlemen, for the biggest applause of the afternoon, let us welcome the former Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo.
Thank you for that honor. Your Excellency, Governor of Delta State, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'd like to say that I'm delighted to be here, to be part of this program, to also to have been called upon to perhaps give some form of support to what my friend and my elder brother has done, talking about DIG Abel. Let me indicate, and of course I ought to also appreciate the MC for the honor by indicating the book which I've just published, which deals with some of the problems that have been touched on, which I intend to also improve upon, which in my view is what the governor and his team have actually understood very, thoroughly, that has given rise to this forum that have brought us here today. No doubt, every one of us, especially those of us from the security sector, policing is quite crucial to addressing all issues of insecurity. So every security agency that you find in our client, military, they are established for a purpose. And of course, that purpose is only complementary to governance. So at the core of the issues that, that the police and other security agencies have been called to address is the failure of governance in very many respects. And I believe that it is this understanding that has, led the governor along with his team to see what they can do to be able to, complement, or if you like, improve the state of affairs within our state. I take very, humble note of the MORE agenda, and two of the pillars strikes me very profoundly, which is the opportunities for all and enhanced security. Opportunities for all seeks to address issues that have to do with what one may call the whole essence of security. By the way, by virtue of our constitution, which of course the governor also derives some of his tasks and responsibilities, the policies, the constitution tells us that the primary objective of governance is safety and welfare of the people. And so this is the reason why the definition, or if you like, the desire of many nations to begin to place the human security at the core of its activities becomes very important. So any government activity that is not centered around the human person, then of course will be a failure. And so the totality of all the government activities, including road construction, reducing the social inequalities, among several other things, are all geared towards ensuring that the individual person is better safe and is able to have means of livelihood. And so as we go on today, that we have been able to bring, especially those within the financial sector and of course the industrial sector, who are the main, in my view, the main drivers of those who will be able to close up the gap in the level of poverty and disequilibrium within our economic environment. They can only do that if the platforms have been created, which is that security must be provided. And so I thought that it's essential for us to understand that the police, the military, and other security agencies can only do as much as what they have been empowered to do. And how our people in the rural areas have been sensitized enough to know that they also have a part to play in ensuring that the environment is safe. Indeed, if we may even go into history, the policing came because there was a need for us, at the medieval times, for communities to ensure that they improve on their well-being. When the populations of nations began to increase, they saw the need to see how they can close up the gap, since providing for everyone had become quite challenging. And so that's how policing, as a program evolved. But for us today in Delta State, I want to say that what we need to do, in addition to, of course, what the Security Trust Fund seeks to achieve, is that we must begin to expand the industrial base of our states, wherein individuals will be able to see how they can be engaged to expand the economic frontiers. And to also expand, and I take very good note of the skills acquisition centers that the governor, both present and past, they have been able to establish. But for us to also expand that, so that we'll give right education and skills to our people, that it's only those who have been engaged that indeed we're able to make life more meaningful. Anyone that is not engaged, of course, the next thing perhaps he'll want to do is to begin to look for how he's going to survive, because survival remains at the core of human existence. So it's on that note that I'd like to, first of all, thank you, Governor, for what you're doing along with your team, and to ask that you reinforce all those programs that you already established. But beyond that, to also let you know that leadership is not that simple. And for all those who have been invited, especially for those of us, those who are in the financial sector and even the industrial sector, to also know that your contributions are quite pivotal to ensuring that we have a safer Delta State. A safer Delta State means, more returns on your investment, more expansion in terms of whatever investment that you bring to the state. And of course, for the security agencies, for you to also know that not just the government, but everybody that is here, and even those who are not here, but may be listening, are concerned about the inadequacies that you have. And so I believe that has strengthened the resolve of the state government to want to establish this trust fund to ensure that the basket, for addressing security, the inadequacies of the security agencies are increased, such that there will be, equipment for you, resources that you require to be able to nip in the bud all issues that are beyond what governance has been able to provide. On that note, once again, I'd like to thank you for this good opportunity and to wish us well, even as we make our donations. God bless you all.
One more time, let's give General Lucky Rabo an applause. I like the very last statement you made. You said, even as we make our donations, and that goes to all of us present here today. Ladies and gentlemen, one thing that Delta State stands out for is the plurality of language, plurality of tradition, and culture. It's on that note I would like to recognize custodians of culture, several royal fathers who have made out time, a busy schedule, to be here today to participate in this. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me, put your hands together as I recognize His Royal Majesty, Major General Felix Mujaberu. His Royal Majesty, Major General Felix Mujaberu, Orue the First, CFRO, the Oroje of Okbe Kingdom, and Chairman, Delta State Council of Traditional Rulers. Thank you, Your Majesty. I also like to recognize the presence of His Royal Majesty, Professor Epiphany Azinge, S-A-N-O-O-N, Asagba of Asaba. And of course, His Royal Majesty Ogiame Atuwashe III, CFRO, the Olu of Warri. Round of applause, please. All right. We're going to move on right now and take some goodwill messages, ladies and gentlemen. But before I do that, allow me to correct something my co-MC and mentor in the business, Dr. Nzeku, said. You said I came on stage and I was advertising my services. I beg to differ, sir. I wasn't advertising, I was testifying. Yes. I know I said I was going to host the birthday of our chief launcher, High Chief Government, Polo, next year. That's not an advert. It's by force. Even if you are not doing birthday, I will come and host it. All right? Yes, so I wasn't advertising. If I want to advertise, I will tell you stuff like Jim Ovia here, our special guest. I've hosted his daughter's wedding, and the next wedding I would like to host it. That's advertisement. But I'm not advertising, sir. Am I? But I will host it, right? Also, let me leave it at that first. Ladies and gentlemen, the next person I am bringing on stage, it gives me great pleasure to introduce him. Not because I like his style only, but because he happens to be an old boy of one of my alma maters, the great government college, Ughelli. Without further ado, please, let's put our hands together for Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo. Round of applause, please.
Thank you so much, Bobby. I've been told not to repeat the protocols that have been established, but I want to recognize my governor and the here present. I didn't expect to speak this occasion. I was only told the governor actually summoned me to be here today. We were here on Sunday too for a party meeting, and he summoned all of us to be here today. And so I am here with my senators. But the first thing I noticed here is the seating arrangement. So when you are launching such a fund, the big boys should be in front. So they set me up and put me in front. It's a setup. It's a big setup. I'm just a minister, a servant. Tompolo is properly seated in front. Bovia is properly seated. Aigboje is properly seated. By the governor, of course, by office. I don't know about the retired Apoyibo. You are retired. You see Obi Kubana, you should be in front. Look at Adora, should be in front. Fidelity should be in front. So we are all not properly seated. These are the big boys that should be in front. In fact, Dafinona should be in front. So my own is just a setup. Oh, please don't mind me. I'm just a minister that they put in front to set me up. Anyway, that's on the lighter side. What we are here to do today is a very important function for every government. And I think my elder brother, the former Chief of Defense Staff, aptly put it when he said that security, lives and property is the first function of any government. So what my governor is doing here today, actually his first mandate as governor of the state. In fact, what even brought about government as a whole, if we want to be vertical for 1 second, is we all studied what they call the Thomas Hobbes theory in school. That before government came into being, there was a state of anomy as propounded by Thomas Hobbes. Everybody was for himself, no government. And so life was nasty, solitary, brutish, and short. And so that was what brought about the concept of government. That means government was conceptualized basically first for security, lives, and properties. And that is why all of us will give up our individual freedoms to a sovereign in elections. So say, vote for you, please take control of our collective security instead of all of us trying to secure ourselves. And then the strongest survives against his neighbor. And that is why we must commend the governor of Delta, my governor, who has done tremendously well. I mean, I'm sure you know what the states. In fact, my own local government. So for all those from who we are here, including him, is a nowhere boy, can see the kind of improvement I've made sectors, parts of the states, in terms of security. So, my governor, we thank you so much for this. In fact, today, the launch of the trust fund and the invitation of individuals to come is the second aspect, and I think the rabbi also mentioned that apart from government, having given up our sovereign, our freedoms to a government, to govern all of us, that we all then have individuals regarding security. That is the concept of government. Individuals have their own responsibility to assist government, and also not to assist government, to take charge one way or the other of security in their individual. That's why you see as traditional rulers who are here, they have that role, unwritten role, to also secure the kingdom. But then, the Police Act, Akboyebo will testify to that citizens also have right of arrest. That's what they call citizens' arrest. It highlights the roles we have to play as individuals towards security. Don't say, oh, well, governor is there, I'm going to sleep, let them do their best. No, we all have our individual responsibilities regarding security. So the Police Act says individuals have a duty to arrest and then hand over to law enforcement agencies. And that is what the drama, if you were here, the first drama that was enacted here, it appeared funny, but that exactly is what it's all about. They arrested the boy who was a thief. The other woman said, hand the thief over to authorities. That was citizens' arrest they did. Citizens' arrest. And that is permitted by law. But beyond that, we also highlight that. If you look at, for lawyers here, if you look at the case of Faremi and Akilo, my former boss, Gani Faremi, when he wanted to prosecute killers of Delegiwa, alleged killers, went on to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said, sorry, you have a right to prosecute. But the Lagos state government was denying him the right, the fiat to prosecute, when he thought he had gathered enough evidence to prosecute the case. The Supreme Court said, at that case, we all have even the right to prosecute once we are given that fiat by the Attorney General of the state or the Federation. All of this highlights the fact that we have a role to play. That's why I mentioned all of these incidents. But today, the role we have to play is the money role. That is why we're here, is the money role that we have to play today. So we urge everyone to play that role. Bring out your monies, support our governor, support the state, support what he is doing. That is how we can applaud what he's doing. Don't just be talking by mouth. For me, as minister, we are here to welcome you. I'm not part of the launcher, so take note. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Festus Keyamo. Allow me to add that you literally did our job here, which is marketing. I hope you know that you are amongst the people who have to support. I should be in front here. Do you know that they signaled us to come and cut you short? But because you were my senior, by the time you left government college, I had not even entered. But our co-MC here, Dr. Nzeku, was your senior in government college, so that's why he came. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on. We can't wait to get to the money part. Like our Honorable Minister has emphasized, We can't wait to get to the money part. The next person I'm calling on stage actually needs no introduction. Yes, indeed, he's our special guest. Yes, indeed, he is chairman of one of the most powerful brands in the world, and indeed one of the most powerful financial institutions, the most recognizable as well. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please put your hands together for Mr. Jim Ovia. Let that applause roll till he gets here.
Excellency, the Executive Governor of Delta State. Excellency, Deputy Governor of Cabinet. Yes. And since spoke, say that to join you here today, and it's very important. Excellency, remarkable, particularly the infrastructure and social development. Security is a core responsibility of government, and the Security Trust Fund, the governor's foresight, bring shareholders together and to build initiative there and framework the inception. Zenith Bank has proudly partnered with state government initiatives that's so important to lives. We are therefore remain steadfast in this government. Look forward to Delta State, where our citizens and businesses continues to prosper in peace and security. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no doubt that security costs everybody and all humans that will contribute to security trust funds. It has become financial enough for various state governments to set up security trust funds. And Lagos State started this, and we were so proud to play a role in that regard. And when Delta State announced the same thing, we were one of the first to raise up our hand, joined by dear Governor of the State. Therefore, not only that will be ready to contribute quota, also encourage everyone here fully same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming, and do hope you will to trust fund. Thank you.
Wow. Just listen to one of the titans of the banking and financial services sector. If you don't give Mr. Jim Ovia the applause of recognition that he deserves, that is one man I will always, always, always respect. And I can declare openly that he's one of those who sowed very heavily into my beginnings in this business, giving me the opportunity to support his brand, his bank, Zenith Bank, through many things for many, many years. Thank you very much, Mr. Jim Ovia. Ladies and gentlemen, my brother Ovi is always in the business of stoking trouble. Come to the microphone, because I can say what I want to say now because Mr. Jim Ovia has gone and taken his seat. But how do you come to the microphone? Look at an occasion like this where we have a man designated chairman, and you tell us that a brand that starts with the letter Z is more popular than a brand that starts with the letter A. I don't know how you want to resolve that problem. But anyway, what we know for a fact, they say that if you want to show that you have completed a spectrum, just say to anybody that you have covered the A to Z. And every other thing in between is spoken for. And that should give us a safe ground to move forward. This morning, it is by no mistake that a man who is very associated with worthy causes is here with us in a very unique capacity. He is a lawyer. He is a holder of a triumph of Master of Business Administration certificates. If you don't know what that means, look it up. 3 universities at once, issuing 1 degree. He is an investor, a philanthropist, and a Nigerian banker. He is chairman in many places, but let me single out a few. Past President, Nigerian Stock Exchange, Chairman, Financial Markets Dealers Association, holder of the National Honor, Commander of the Order of the Niger, African Banker of the Year 2013, member, American Academy of Arts and Sciences, fellow Chartered Institute of Bankers. I will tell you one thing, you know we're here to raise money today. In the year 2010, we have it on record that he donated $1 million to the Global Fund. 15 years later, can only imagine what he would donate to this. He's done so many things, but I am pleased to welcome Founder Coronation Group, Founder Tengen Family Office, member Nigeria Solidarity Support Fund, our worthy chairman of today's occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ike Imokwede.
His Excellency, Right Honorable Elder Sheriff Burevore, Governor of the State, His Excellency Sir Monday Oyeme, Deputy Governor, Delta State, Speaker of the Delta State House of Assembly, Honorable Ministers, distinguished Senators, Honorable Members of the House of Representatives, senior members of the Armed Forces and Securities community, special guest of honor, Mr. Jim Ovia, my big brother, Chief Launcher, Chief Tompolo, of course our keynote speaker, Yaji Marvel Akpoibo, chairpersons and chief executives of leading companies in the private sector, Your Royal Majesties and Highnesses, distinguished Deltans, distinguished Nigerians, the world is looking on Delta State this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments and there are moments. There are leaders and there are leaders. Great moments are remembered because great deeds happen. But great deeds require great leaders. Delta State is witnessing at this point in its history great movement after great movement, spurred by the great driver, the great leader, His Excellency, my senior brother by 3 years, Governor Sheriff. This state is of immense importance to Nigeria, Africa's foremost nation. The state is associated with several immeasurable contributions to our nation, many of which have been spoken about here. I would like to share with you that even though I'm not a Deltan, even though I'm from neighboring Edo State, the most important thing I've ever obtained in my life, I obtained from your state, my dear wife Ofowe. And her contributions have been indeed transformational, just like yours have been, state and family. Our governor is the driver and enabler of this moment. My big brother spoke of structure. I speak about prudent fiscal management. But certainly at the heart of it is that peace and stability is very present here in Delta State. At the heat of the moment, I look back at points in time when there were parts of the state you could not drive through, points in time when, despite natural resource wealth, production was a challenge. I look now, and perhaps it's unfair of us to that we have, us to think of the need to safeguard. Mr. Governor, we all will rally behind the formal launch of the Delta State Security Trust Fund. I like your style. You're a man that is not for distraction. Just like the Nike logo that we associate with Michael Jordan. You just get it done. You just do it. And so to all well-meaning organizations, Delta State, all citizens, whether origin or by choice, education or pursuit of business, who gain their wealth, their prosperity, and their peace of mind from this great state. This morning, this afternoon, and we shall continue because the launching doesn't end today, we shall just do it. Now, to the two compares, particularly Bovi. I did some arithmetic. And given that he already said that he has compared or been the MC of one of my birthdays, I have an idea what we pay him. And it seems that there are almost 100 people in this room from Delta State or stakeholders of the state from whom you have collected this your MC fee. Based on the principles of derivation, I think you should come and sit where I was sitting. because you will be taxed fully this afternoon. Now, I happen to come from an industry where, as a professional, a banker, banks are challenged somewhat from making public their contributions. What I will do, however, is this. I am no longer an employee of a bank, in the sense of a banking professional. I am an employee of a bank in the sense of a non-executive director. I can speak freely in my own personal capacity. And then, of course, my wife is a Deltan. I think that you can infer from what I'm going to do personally, given that it's a fraction of what institution that I'm associated with most closely, Access Holding, is likely to. So on behalf of my family, my wife Ofoe, I think you can start at 100 million naira. Now, it wasn't me who said it. I think it was compare, given that the A to Z of banking is here. You can take it to the bank that the banking community will fully support that which we are doing today. But I also noticed that the A to Z of oil and gas is also here. The A to Z of energy is here. The A to Z of infrastructure is here. So, to tell you the figure that His Excellency and I spoke about, we have a floor, not a ceiling, for the trust fund. Not necessarily to be launched and collected all today, but certainly His Excellency and I shall be calling significantly, repeatedly, to make sure that our minimum target of 100 billion is collected this year, 2025. To end up collecting thereafter, well, Your Excellency, it's up to you to share with your people. As a beneficiary of Delta State through marriage, I have so well received as I came. I have looked at this wonderful audience of men and women of timber, caliber, crude oil, security, banking, and all. And I'm so proud to be associated with this occasion. Thank you, Your Excellency, and congratulations once again. So I will request the great leader of this occasion last, because he's our host. But, Honorable Minister, please join me. My big brother, Jim, if you choose to, please join us. We're about to do some launching effects. Hi, Chief Tompolo, please join us because you are the chief launcher and we will soon see your power. And finally, distinguished senators from Delta State at the federal, please. Senator Daphne, Senator Joel, please. Please. Center.
Delta State Security Trust Fund. Building trust, securing Delta.
Jamu SAN. The chairman of today's occasion, Mr. Ike, I must say that in UK when I gave a call to you and said, how would I engage you? Our special guest of honor, Jim Ovia, Chairman, Zenith Bank International. Thank you, sir. The Chief Launcher, High Chief Government, Emukulu, also known as Chairman Tatita Security Service. Keynote Speaker, DIG Marvela, Mr. Speaker, Speaking Speaker, Deputy Speaker, principal members of the Legislative Assembly, members of the Legislative Assembly, members of the State Executive Council, Chairman and the Executive Secretary of Delta State Security Trust Fund, Service Commanders, AIG Zone 5, CP, United States, other paramilitary agencies. Also saw the special recognition my brother General Irabo, former CDS, and Admiral Dele Izoba, Chief of Naval Staff, Captain of Industry, and members of the nice private sector, a very reverend rulers, the Chairman of the National Rulers Council, the of Asagba, and the gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies. Please, with a deep sense of responsibility, I address you today. First, welcome all our esteemed guests, making out the time to honor our invitation. Presence here today is highly appreciated. We not take it for granted. Permit me again to start recognize the chairman of this occasion, Mr. Agboje Okwede, founding banker and the chairman of Access Holding PLC, whose trailblazing strides in the financial services sector have continued to inspire younger bankers. Also deserving special mention is one of our leaders, Mr. Chairman of Zenith, who are rightfully as the doing of modern banking. Also thank Chief Lonsha, High Chief, Government, and the keynote speaker, DIG Mark, great patriots, whose commitment, growth, progress of our love are encouraging, joy. I must say something here. Glad to see my dear brother, High Chief, Government, Wezide, as year was his first public outing past 10 years. I spoke to him, cannot be hiding, he must come. For 10 years, has not attended any outside his village. Thank you for coming. We are gathered here today, formally launched as a Security Trust Fund, which was established by law in 2013. Primary function, that state Security Trust Fund, to raise funds. We all know security is not sole responsibility. It is everybody's business. Without effective security, development cannot. And individuals, companies, and businesses will still find it difficult to thrive. Hence, Trust Fund reflects the principle of shared responsibility, one that requires cooperation and partnership, government, private sector, and citizens for peace, public safety, and sustainable development. Since its establishment 12 years ago, agencies have played a vital role in security operations. State, the provision of funds for enforcement agents, being able to procure critical equipment, vehicles, gadgets, and surveillance tools, federal security agents. Trust Fund recently updated state-of-the-art equipment worth millions of naira. State criminal investigation, Delta State Command Headquarters, a 6th Command, Ministry of Justice, Station, Criminal for 2020. After this, 60 pilots pickups, 10 Toyota Sienna buses were donated, police and other security agencies, Delta State government. However, what the government has done falls short, significant when compared to scale and complexity of security challenges currently facing our state. As we all are aware, Delta State, the nexus connecting the southeast and the southwest. Recent years, owing to the rapid urbanization of state, especially Asaba, capital, state has increased in migration other states. That means more security challenges, forms of violent crimes, kidnapping, cultism, community level unrest. This administration very proactive tackling the Operation Data Hawk landed as Operation Data Sweep. Let's deal this administration crime-related activity state. There is Operation Data Sweep Joint Security Task Force comprising Nigerian Army, Navy, Air Force, PSS, and the Nigeria Security and Defense Corps. I'm happy that the synergy among the security agencies in the state have been successes for the fight again. A few days ago, acting on credible intelligence, DSS detected a share of arms, including 7 GPMGs, several rifles, pump action, 5 grenades, and other illegal items. The gun runner, Taraba State. The government, we are mindful of the need to tackle some of the causes of insecurity, such as poverty, leading to youth restiveness. Hence, beyond the investment in security hardware, we have formulated policies and programs that include economic growth, national advancement, health, religious harmony, and environmental stability. Through our various social investment programs, hundreds of thousands of women, youths, and small business owners sourced land and business support packages. Additionally, ongoing massive infrastructure renewal in the state created thousands of direct and indirect jobs. Engineers, artisans, laborers, vendors, transporters, quarry operators, and so many others. Construction value chain. I believe that peace comes when various groups, society, particularly women, youth, vulnerable, furthermore, we have enacted laws that target different aspects of security needs. These include Delta State Livestock Breeding, Hearing and Marketing Law 20, Delta State Safety Law 20, Delta State Community Corps Agency Law 20, Delta State Anti-HTK Law 2026, and Delta State Terrorism and Autism Law 2016. Delta State Advisory and Peace Council, comprising eminent citizen state, also a critical organ of government, seeks to promote sustainable peace state. Also measures find potential causes, conflicts, violence, communities, advising the government on conflict prevention, force and peace management. Because in the oil and gas sector, Delta State remains heaven for international oil companies. They are here, they can get to it. Marginal feed oil operations and ancillary businesses. The state was adjudged safest state oil and gas investment in Nigeria in 2024 by the Federal Ministry of. It is our desire that the peace we currently enjoy not only sustained but also augmented, in line with the 4 pillars of this administration's small agenda, which is enhance peace. It's obvious that security is one of the most expensive costs of governance. Arbitrarily, 0.5% of our IGR allocated trust fund of several important and competing needs, soliciting support, fund to assist the keeping our state safe and secured, make it third investment destination, foreign and local. Trust fund proposes to utilize the funds generated from this occasion, something effort by the following security support services. Funding an establishment of command and control center to receive, monitor, analyze, respond to distress in the state. Consolidate or surveillance around the state, especially major urban centers. Acquire operational vehicles and state-of-the-art security equipment. Fund Operation Data Suite and other established tactical units across the state. Fund and equip local vigilante groups. Complement security agencies in the 25 local government areas of the state. Provide security and intelligence training personnel. Solicit your generous contribution towards meeting these targets. Nation, our investment in economic growth, business, competitiveness, and sustainable development of Delta State. I assure you all and judiciously utilize direct benefit security operations states. Mr. Chairman of today's occasion, special guest of honor, chief launcher, are men of high repute with integrity. We choose them because we know, seeing them here, know that we are